In a bombshell new interview with the Daily Mail, Trump's acting Secretary of Defense, Chris Miller, he accused the January 6th committee of waging a campaign of intimidation. Quote, the January 6th committee threatened to make his life hell if he kept claiming that his former boss authorized National Guard deployment before the riot. All right. So Miller claims that members intimidated him, warned that they would repeatedly bring him in for hours of additional testimony if he kept going on TV and defending the former president's actions. Now, the piece is specifically referring to this show. According to Miller, Liz Cheney was running the show, and apparently his claim that Trump was willing to call up the National Guard in the days leading up to January 6th to protect the Capitol, well, that was ruining their predetermined outcome. Her narrative, a narrative that was, we now know, full of, outright lies. And despite Cheney's dishonest and self-aggrandizing smear campaign, the defense secretary, says that Trump, in fact, did ask for sufficient National Guard protection at the Capitol in the days leading up to January 6th. So did the Capitol Police Chief, Sund. So did the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley. So did the DOD Inspector General. In their report, it said, quote, General Milley told us that at the end of the meeting, the president told Mr. Miller that there would be a large number of protesters on January 6th, and Mr. Miller should ensure sufficient National Guard or soldiers would be there to make sure it was a safe event. Remember, in writing, D.C. Mayor Bowser was reported that she declined any National Guard help. But it wasn't just Milley and Miller making the claims. Take a look. Calling up the Guard, and then it became the chain of command went to Nancy Pelosi and to the mayor of D.C., Muriel Bowser. Did you, as required by law, authorize that?
100%, and attested to by many people, and they turned it down. Nancy Pelosi turned it down.
Mayor Bowser's written refusal, the communications between the leader of the Capitol Police and their chain of command to the DOD refusing our request to allow National Guardsmen and women to stage on January 4 and 5 before January 6.
Did you both ask for the National Guard to be called up?
Without a doubt, Sean, we've made that very clear, not just once, but on numerous occasions. We wanted to make sure that there was plenty of National Guard on the ready in case there was some kind of violence.
I can only speak about the 6th of January and the events leading up to it, and I can say definitively President Trump offered any and all support requested by suitable officials within Washington, D.C., federal, state, not state, but federal and local.
Wow. Now, the president wanted the Capitol protected. The January 6th committee, they weren't telling the whole truth. They didn't want that part of the story getting out. Why didn't they bring in the Capitol Police Chief? It was never a serious committee conducting a real investigation. The worst part is they haven't come up with a plan to prevent this from ever happening again. This was a political witch hunt. This was a smear campaign, a vessel for Liz Cheney's petty revenge.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
It's not about justice. It's not about agenda. It's not about mobilizing people. It's about dialing for corporate dollars. These two parties have sold the U.S. government and the American people to the highest bidders.